Today is day one of the Buy Dirt, Build Dirt series. Well, everybody, this is episode 1 of the Buy Dirt, Build Dirt series. I bought a new farm. It's a world-class farm. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We know of 180-inch deer that were killed on this farm. We know of a county record that was killed on this farm. This is the honey hole. I'm gonna walk you through step by step through numerous episodes, but especially on today's episode, why and how and what I'm seeing. We're gonna walk through this timber and you're gonna see it's super mature. It does have good timber value, but it's too mature. So what does that mean? It means we can take out a lot of this timber and put money in our pocket and create better habitat. There's a lot of things we're gonna learn throughout this process, guys. Today is day 1 of the Buy Dirt, Build Dirt series. Let's go check it out.
Oh, look at that!
"63 photos, I can check them all right here, man." That's the big one.
Sharon River up here, home heading your way, so we'll be down there, probably an hour and 20 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, just shoot me a text when you're probably 15 minutes away and I'll make sure I'm up by the truck.
Sounds good.
All right, see you in a bit. The sooner I could get it done, the better, but if that's where you gotta be, that's where you gotta be.
We're gonna want to bring in probably, at one time, we're probably gonna want to have 100 trees laid out so he can come through. So I would probably say, come back a little ways, you know, like you said with your shed.
Yeah.
Just clear it out, where we could put quite a few trees in there at one time.
So this is the end of day 1 on the property, guys. There's a lot of information I could throw at you right now. We walked the property with a burn expert, is what I'll call him. Somebody does prescribe burns for maybe not for a living, but does them, a lot of them for like quails forever and things like that, just to get a good idea of a burn plan and how that might work. And that's still kind of to be continued. But we got a really good gauge on the timber, what we're doing here. Before that step though, something I did that not a lot of people are doing, make sure to get your timber appraised, okay? Having a timber appraiser come out, and let's say you have $100,000 worth of timber on the property and you sell your timber, you cut your timber and sell your timber for, you know, $90,000. Since you came in below appraisal, you don't have to pay taxes on that money, on that income, guys. So nobody does that step. That's a little quick tip for you. That's something that I ended up doing with this piece of land as well. So did have a logger come out today, had a very generous offer. It was my second logger at this point to come out. This guy has worked and done habitat work with the familiar faces that you've seen on the Outdoor Channel. I knew that for a fact prior to that, so I thought I'd bring him in. And the only way you can truly keep loggers honest is by bringing in numerous loggers, and we did that today. So we walked the timber, sent the logger out here, let them enjoy the day out here and kind of get a good count on trees and all that good stuff. And I had a ballpark estimate from my appraiser, and actually probably going to come in above appraisal. So technically, you know, you would have to pay taxes on that money, which is fine. It's still income. But it's been a successful day. Mom found her first shed. She found a big old whopper shed. Found that deadhead. Man, it was just a super good day. I mean, a lot of stuff to get done yet, but I mean, the main thing was the timber today. And we can walk this piece and we can see it's super mature. I can see through it for 400 yards. This is bad habitat. So we're gonna keep shed hunting the last hour of the day out. Hopefully we can find one more. And I bought a farm. All right, guys, so we are out in the field right now. This is the destination food source. We're looking at about 12 acres. We'll give you a little pano of the field. Just to prove to you, it looks like 25 acres. Some of you are miscalculating the size of your food plots. So the whole goal for this piece is to put 90, 98, 99% of the food out here. We could put interior plots in on the property, but here's the thing about doing that. We're gonna complicate the movement. I want to make sense of which way the deer are moving, and if we put a plot here, a plot there, it's a reason for them to deter from the ultimate destination path that I want them to be taking to this destination food source. Notice that when we're working on this farm, we're doing the 90% is what I call it. We're working on the timber stand improvement, we're working on the food plotting, we're working on the strategy and all the other bigger parts of the picture. When you buy a property, don't think you're gonna come in and make a significant difference because you've seen YouTube videos of people putting up mock scrapes and watering holes. There's a time and a place, but I call that the 10%. Let's get 90% of the work done first, and then we'll worry about that. So what we're planning to do is we're gonna run probably 6 to 7 acres of corn in an L all the way down this, okay? It's gonna block off the neighbors. It's gonna make the deer feel safe using this interior portion of the food plot. We're gonna use a combination of dwarf corn and probably, I don't know, I'm not sure as far as what other type of corn we're gonna use, but the point in using dwarf corn is it puts less energy into growing a tall stalk and more energy into growing the cob. So we're gonna get more forage that way. And moving back this way, what we're gonna do is we're gonna run forage soybeans, Stratton soybeans, Game Changer 2.0 beans on the interior of this, all with a blind right here, okay? So if we have this blind right here, we got about a 60-yard shot to that piece of timber, we got a 60-yard shot to that piece of timber, and then, you know, with it facing this way, we're basically, you know, we're gonna be facing the timber back this way. We're gonna run a finger of corn out here so that we can get in and out of this stand location. We're gonna only run a 5 or 10 foot, probably a 5-foot stand here. Not a 10-footer, not a 15-footer like a lot of you like to use. Why? Because I want to be able to get in and out of it without bumping deer. If it's 15 feet up in the air, I gotta climb down 15 feet. That's another thing to keep in mind. So let's pan over here, Josh. You can see that we do have another cove back in here. Back in that cove, we will run those soybeans back in there and we can get another blind location then on that piece of timber and shoot this pinch point over here. Back in that corner, we're also gonna do some frost seeding of clover as we are back over here, back in this cove, okay? And the point in putting it back in that cove is so that if I had tall 4 or 5 foot soybeans like these soybeans might grow because they're super, it's a super quality, high quality bean, it's like they walk into a jungle and they're not gonna make a ton of effort to get closer to my blind location. So if the first 20, 30 yards are just clover, one, it's gonna entice them to at least come out and feed on the clover. But when that clover does come dormant, it's gonna be short. So for them to cover that 20, 30 yard gap and get 20, 30 yards closer to me, won't take much as they get into the beans and ultimately feed me. One thing I might do during the season, these beans are gonna get so thick that I'm probably gonna take the UTV and I'm gonna drive right through them up to my stand so that there is a path. Just a 2-track path, nothing crazy, but just giving you guys a little bit of background as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. Predominant westerly winds coming from that way. Access right here to this stand location, bulletproof on any westerly wind and even some crosswinds. We're pretty much good here all the way on an easterly wind, and I hate to say it, you're getting in an enclosed blind and you're pretty bulletproof anyway until you open the windows. So that's the plan for today, is kind of pick apart this food plot. I wanted to tell you guys why we're doing what we're doing, but also we're gonna do some frost seeding now. There's a beautiful example of timing as far as frost seeding goes. We had frost on the Can-Am, frost on the trucks, and so it's frost seeding season. So let's get to work. Hey guys, so before I get started, there are seeding rates for clover. We are going to go over that seeding rate right now because I want to ensure that we have a better year one product or a better year one growth. As we know, clover can take multiple years to establish, so I'm going to overseed it this first year and really ensure that this is going to be a thick, lush patch of clover. If there's some weeds that come up, so be it. That doesn't bother me. Deer eat weeds. So a lot of you like to make your clover plots look like a carpet of clover, and I get it, but it's not always necessary. So we're going to overseed this based off of the normal seeding rate. Maybe a little 1/8 acre here is all we're dealing with. So we're going to run this out. Get some clover on the ground. All right, guys. So we've got the clover put in this little cove of this plot, and basically there's the Can-Am back there, but back another 60 to 70 yards behind that is where that blind is going to be. So we're also going to be running some clover strips down the edge of the timber on each side to encourage movement out and past the blind. Gives a better shot opportunity, so we're going to do that. Work around and get this other little cove on the back side here, and then we should be good to go as far as frost seeding clover. Super easy thing to do on your property. Overseed it the first year if you want a good crop. You don't have to. Otherwise, don't go much over your recommended seeding rate. So we're gonna get back to work, but I just want to tell you why I did what I did on this food plot. See, your trail cameras, your cell cameras aren't doing super well because they don't have good service. We've all seen the cheap antennas that are out there. This is what I'm recommending to you. It is big, it is cumbersome, but it works, okay? As long as you can get at least 1 bar with the camera normally, this is gonna get you 2 to 3 bars more. Exodus Trail Cameras makes these, or I should say sells these. It's a high gain antenna, bigger, better quality antenna. It's gonna make sure you get more service. Simple as that. Right now we have no problem with service, but I'm not overly familiar with this property, so as the leaves start to grow and take over the canopy, I'm gonna lose some service. With this property being far away from home, I'm taking all the precautions I can, putting up these high gain antennas on a lot of my cell cameras. So that's another one of our little chores or goals for the day. So let's get to work. Simple as that, guys. And the status report just came in. So all we did is replace this stock antenna. It probably works on a lot of your trail cameras that you guys already have. You can get these at ExodusOutdoorGear.com, I believe is the website. Exodus Trail Camera sells. So this will work 2 to 3 times better than this. Simple as that. Now we're gonna get up our solar panel. In that case, with these Exodus cameras, I know I can leave these cameras out here for 3 years if I wanted to. They'll have the service, they'll have the battery life, and with the cost of batteries, guys, if you're not running solar panels on your cameras, you're crazy or you're filthy rich, one of the two. So we're gonna get a solar panel up and we'll be good to go then on this camera set. Another quick tip for you guys, when you hang these solar panels, make sure you hang them facing south. South gets the most sunlight. Try and find a gap. Look up into the sky, you know, find the best gap that you possibly can get. Think about this with leaves on, because that's what's gonna take place. You're gonna get leaves and you need this thing to get at least partial sunlight. We're ready to rock, on to the next. I gotta say, buying a farm, man, this whole like feeling is just finally like that moment when you got something that's your own and you can do whatever the hell you want with it. Find a way. If that's a goal of yours, guys, find a way. There are ways. You don't necessarily need the cash. We talked about this in other videos in the past. There's ways. Where there's a will, there's a way.